first time in the Gambia,
44265
UCMAS, in partnership with AfriSol, presents a quick reaction thinking educational show. Students between 6 and 13 years. Questions,
4,
answers,
2, 5, 8.
speed, mental abilities, mathematical problems
2,
and solution.
2, 3.
Grand prize of 30,000 for the first winner. The UCMAS arithmetic competition. Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and replayed on Saturday at 2 p.m. on GRTS.
All along, when I was a child up to date, I really want to be a businessman, a business tycoon. Yeah. So still now from childhood, I'm working on it to be a businessman. Yeah. I want to do both import and export. It inspired me a lot. Because right now, the businessmen, what the inspired from I have to be a businessman. Although it wasn't easy, but still now I'm keeping it up. I want to be a businessman and I have to work through this dream. If when I'm back, I can see it, I can make it my country through business, so I'm on it. Even on day I'm that is I create my own shop, I create a support so let's say I have full stocks. Yeah, I go and sell every day, thank God, every day I go out for a savings nice. Thank God, at least things are now better with me. Before how things were and now is different, but we don't invest, bring more try from support on the right.
All of meditate. The dal, building the metro and agriculture, all on a dream. More guy ko lafa ko like wala min chief at capin guy and metro ko so no man kono always even school time before ni nga go after school then man on workshop or dog and jalala because munagata on metro la but the metro wo meta na dream kono ko man on big workshop kana on big garden or so me aran ko dal wala woti me fam ma ko la jemena family ma ko la alhamdulillah rabbil alamin ko jiribi ne ayo 6 kilo bondi ani sise subo fana pour ke waf yajibe fana alhamdulillah ngala ran jamal da nanani sante make waf anu ngado ko ke mo jamal mi yalon ko na me shoko.
In a country always thirsty for more, a team of superheroes with special powers unite to redefine the way we are connected. Big Barbaram Pagasi steps up your communication with the TOK service, giving you 1,000 minutes of talk time to one special person for $150 is only, valid for 1 month. Enjoy your talk time. Type SUB and send by SMS to 135 to activate the TOK service. AfriSol got office with the power to change the world. Do you enjoy spending time online with your friends on social media? If so, then AfriSol has the best offer for you. Activate the social media bundle for $10 is only and enjoy 40 megabytes valid for 24 hours. WhatsApp, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, and Viber all for $10 is only. Dial 120# and press 3 to activate the social media bundle. No need to subscribe every day. It will automatically roll over for your enjoyment. AfriSol social media bundle. Let us socialize.
It's a warm reception to our studio here in Serekunda. This is Star TV News with me, Dada Cham. In the headlines tonight, Gambia signs notes exchange with Japan on food assistance. Health Ministry in hundreds of inmates in Nigerian prison. South Africa President attends funeral of bad tragedy victims. French rail workers strike for better pay work condition. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Momodou Tangara, and His Excellency Mr. Asamu, Ambassador of Japan to the Gambia, on Thursday signed exchange of notes relating to the Japanese food assistance to the Republic of the Gambia for the Japanese fiscal year 2022. The signing ceremony took place at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and the Gambian Abroad in Banjul. The project consists in purchasing rice to help cover the local food demand. I attended the ceremony. The government of Japan allocated about $125 million dedicated to implementation of food assistance under its grant aid scheme. Shortly after signing of the exchange notes, Ambassador Osamu said Japan wished to strengthen its solidarity with the government of the Gambia during the difficult times of recovering COVID-19 impact on economic activities and the Ukraine crisis.
Japan's cooperation toward the friendly people of the Gambia covers vital sectors such as food assistance, water supply, especially in rural areas, support to underprivileged farmers through access to machines and health, fisheries, and technical cooperation to enhance human resources capacity. The government of Japan is committed to stand by the people and the government of the Gambia in all circumstances in order to achieve social and economic development goals.
The ambassador disclosed that the 8th Tokyo International Conference on Africa's Development will be held in August in Tunisia, on the African continent, for the second time. And in that meeting, his government wishes to strengthen the relationship with Japan and the government of the Gambia. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Mamadou Tangara, said the signing means a lot to the Gambia's post-COVID reconstructions as it seeks to carve out core priorities in the government Green Recovery Focused National Development Plan 2023-2027.
The food assistance will be monetized, and the proceeds through the counterpart fund will, as usual, make a great intervention into priority projects that directly address national challenges such as health, education, and most importantly, agriculture, which is central to the NDP. Japan, like other countries, is rebuilding a post-COVID-19 new Japan. This notwithstanding, Japan continues to reach out to friendly countries like the Gambia to strengthen cooperation through economic and technical assistance.
It could be recalled that Japan has provided 3 grants, 8 projects to the Gambia, like the Project for Rural Water Supply 1990 to 1995 Phase 1, 2004 to 2008 Phase 2, 2009 to 2012 Phase 3, and 2020 Phase 4. The Rural Water Supply Project has a total of 45 sites and benefit over 50,000 people. The Ministry of Health, in collaboration with the Non-Communicable Diseases, on Wednesday launched the National Multi-Sectoral Strategy and Coastal Actions Plan for Non-Communicable Diseases Prevention and Control in the Gambia. The ceremony, which was presided by the head of state, President Adama Barrow, was held at the Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara International Conference Center in Bijilo. Mbaikor picks up the rest of the story.
The event was aimed to create awareness of the strategic and its costed action plan to all partners, supporting the control of non-communicable diseases and their risk factors. The World Bank and the Defeats Non-Communicable Disease collaborated in developing the multi-sectoral document, which has various areas, 7 chapters, and 6 strategic objectives. His Excellency President Adama Barrow, in his statement, revealed some of the factors that cause non-communicable disease, which is tobacco, unhealthy diets, among others.
Non-communicable diseases, especially heart diseases and stroke, cancers, chronic lung diseases, and diabetes are among the greatest killers in the world. And they account for over 70% of deaths globally every year. It is also known that these diseases are increased by 5 risk factors, among which are tobacco use, physically inactivity, unhealthy diets, harmful use of alcohol, and indoor air pollution. In the Gambia, we are told that NCDs account for about 34% of all deaths registered in the country.
Pointed out some of the aim of the strategic plan, Dr. Amadou Lamin Samate, the Minister of Health, on his presentation of the document said about 16.7% of the population in the Gambia smokes. 90% have one risk factor for the development of non-communicable disease.
Our vision is to attain a Gambia free from avoidable burden of non-communicable diseases. The mission statement is to apply a multi-sectoral approach to mitigating the burden of NCDs, reducing premature mortality, and ensuring a healthier population. The goal is to reduce by 1/3 premature deaths from NCDs in the Gambia by the year 2027. Our guiding principles are a multi-sectoral approach, a life course approach, human rights approach, equity-based approach, whereby there is empowerment of individuals, families, and communities, an evidence-based approach as well, and integration into the existing health systems, and of course universal coverage, because all people need to be covered, whether they are able to pay or not.
Chief Executive Officer of Defeat Non-Communicable Diseases Partnership, Mr. Mukulu, revealed the percentages of the non-communicable disease in the Gambia.
% increase in the number of NCD patients with access to health facilities. In addition, the willingness to use health facilities has increased by 52% in 2021. So this event is very important in making a difference to people's lives with NCDs across Gambia, and will be able to further prevent NCD risk factors.
Dr. Desta Tironi, the WHO country representative in the Gambia, disclosed that each year about 41% died of non-communicable diseases globally, which is equivalent to 71% deaths worldwide.
Each year, non-communicable diseases kill about 41 million people globally. That's equivalent to 71% of all deaths worldwide. It's more gut-wrenching to know that 77% of these deaths occur in low and middle-income countries. Because of this staggering death toll, Your Excellency, your presence at this important gathering is very, very crucial. Your presence is signaling to your fellow Gambians, as well as to the global audience, a commitment to tackle this burden of NCDs head-on. Today, there is a growing consensus amongst the public health experts, the public health policy specialists, and research communities alike, that a collaborative, multi-sectoral approach is needed to respond to such complex and social health and social problem.
Reporting for Star TV News, I am Baikor.
The police program joined EU support to the Gambia Police Force on Thursday concluded a 10-day training on community-oriented policy coordinators and trainers. The training of 20 participants will help exchange and enhance the boost of potential in the police force in relation to community policing. Binta Koli attended the closing, and this is her report.
Gambia is among the countries that are battling with crimes ranging from armed robbery, theft, murder, rape, and a host of other criminal activities that normally occurred in the communities. Community policing is said to be the way forward to remedy these crimes in various communities. Speaking before the participants, Steven, Senior Project Coordinator, German Police Support Team in the Gambia, said that participants are prepared to implement community policing and gave an in-depth explanation to others regarding the topic.
Hopefully, successfully prepared to not only implement community-oriented policing, but to also teach others about community-oriented policing. Community-oriented policing deals with a very core issue for the police, which is building a working and trusting relationship with your community. It is imperative that the police invests time into their communities to build these relationships and the trust with the communities. Because without a positive relationship with your community, you will not be able to collect valuable intelligence, and it will be very difficult to sustain or improve your current policing efforts.
He added that the police cannot be everywhere at a particular given time, but then community policing will help offload the burden on them, as they cannot do their work effectively without engaging community members. Abdu Bojang, police advisor GIZ, said the training of trainers will help equip and give a better understanding of community policing to others that are not fortunate to be part of the participants. Bojang added that GIZ is playing its role in the ongoing security sector reform.
As our contribution to the ongoing security sector reform in the Gambia, we at GIZ are honored to be given this opportunity to contribute towards the reforms Gambia Police Force is undergoing, to be more responsive to the needs of the citizens as enshrined in the strategic priority number 1 of the Gambia's National Development Plan and United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 16, quote, to promote peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development, provide access to justice for all, and build effective and accountable institutions at all levels.
Enyan Brown, EU delegation representative, said hopefully the knowledge gained from the training will be utilized. CP Omar Bojang, Regional Police Commissioner Kanifing Municipal Council, said the training could not have come at a better time.
This training course could not have come at a better time. The Gambia Police Force undergoing a rigorous reform process to reposition ourselves to provide democratic policing services to the public. The training modules, I understand, covered diverse aspects of policing in a democratic dispensation. I gathered that the participants were introduced to peace support operations and the responsibility to protect civilians. I believe you are equipped with theoretical and practical tools to protect civilians in accordance with your mandate as police officers.
The colorful event saw certificates being presented to the participants. For Star TV News, I am Binta Kuli.
During the 1994 Rwanda genocide, also known as the genocide against the Tutsi, members of the Hutu ethnicity, majority in the East Central African nation of Rwanda, murdered as many as 800,000 people, mostly the Tutsi majority. However, our Mudu Al-Baji engaged a survivor of the said genocide about the trauma she is battling.
The 43-year-old mother of two was in her early 13s when the Rwandan genocide sparked. Angelica Kanimba narrated how the horrible memories of the genocide impact her livelihood. Madam Kanimba lost both parents during the genocide. Her brother also died as a result of the traumatic memories of the genocide, which she labeled as the saddest part of her life.
When I lost my younger brother in 2020, by then I was nearly heading to 40 years. Because I lost him due to the trauma and the hardship we had in genocide. He saw the picture of my mom. It was an old picture. Since that time, I think we found that picture on Friday. One of our auntie found it and he gave us as a gift. He gave us the picture as a gift. By that time, for me, I was too excited because I saw my mom's and my father's image. For him, it was hard. He said, I'm happy to find this picture and see how my mom looked like. But somehow it hit me because it took me down where I will remember how my mother was. But I can't figure it out because I was very young. So he started crying. It was Friday, crying. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. When I met him, he was somehow not looking nice. When I asked him what happened, he told me that he can't sleep. He's feeling very bad. So next day was Tuesday. On Tuesday, when I called him, we couldn't communicate. He told me, oh, I'm not feeling well. I think I have been working very hard. I'm going home to rest. I'm going to sleep early today. The next morning, Wednesday, around 4, his wife called me that your brother is not feeling well. When I reached him, he couldn't even talk. I took him to the hospital very quick. By the time we reached at the hospital, he was in coma. And they did everything they can. When they put him to the scan, they found out that he has internal bleeding. The brain was full of blood. So that was the last. After 2 days, the doctors confirmed that he's not going to make it. It is deep.
Madam Kanimba intends to support the genocide victims back home in Kigali as she is working towards running a charitable foundation in honor of her late brother. She added that she is still enduring pain of the genocide as her brother's last words continue to kick in her mind.
Because the last word he told me, say, "Why God? Why God? Why did I have to leave my children behind? Being an orphan is not easy. Being an orphan is hard." So he asked me, he said, "My sister, please look after my children. I want you to transform the love you have for me to my children, because as I see things, I'm not going to make it." That is the last word he told me before we left his house. For me, I was trying to console him. I say everything will be fine. But I think for him, he knew that it's his time to go.
Started by the Hutu nationalists in the capital of Kigali, the genocide spread throughout the country with shocking speed and brutality, as ordinary citizens were allegedly incited by local officials and the Hutu-powered government to take up arms against their neighbors. Officials allegedly rewarded killers with food, drink, drugs, and money. Government-sponsored radio stations started calling on ordinary Rwandan citizens to murder their neighbors, and within 3 months, some 800,000 people had been slaughtered. The Rwandan genocide is also remembered as one of the darkest pages of human history. For Star TV, I am Ojo Elbaji.
Those were the local stories. We will be back with the international news after the short break.
First time in the Gambia,
44265
UCMAS, in partnership with AfriCell, presents a quick reaction thinking educational show. Students between 6 and 13 years. Questions,
4,
answers,
2, 5, 8.
Speed, mental abilities, mathematical problems
2,
and solution.
2, 3.
Grand prize of 30,000 for the first winner. The UCMAS Arithmetic Competition. Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and replayed on Saturday at 2 p.m. on GRTS.
All along, when I was a child up to date, I really want to be a businessman, a business tycoon. Yeah. So still now from childhood, I'm working on it to be a businessman. Yeah. I want to do both import and export. Business inspired me a lot. Because mo jonal bi jemi an kon defé mo jonal bi non dunia kon right now the fanka ma jonal bi da businessman what the man for inspire for on kaje ko have to be a businessman. Although it wasn't easy, but still now I'm keeping it up. Kaje ko I want to be a businessman and I have to work through this dream. If when I'm back, I see so I can make it my country through business, so I'm on it. You know, that is I create my own shop, I create a support so let's say me and go have full stocks. Yeah, me and go I sell every day, thank God, every day go out for the savings nice. Thank God, at least things are now better with me. Before how things were and now is different. But we don't bring more try from support on the right.
All of magic the dal birindini ma mecho aning agriculture wala na dream more gaya ko lafa ko like wala ni chief at kapin gaya ana mecho nko so na my kono always even school time before ni nga go after school then man on workshop wala do ga jalala because munagata mom mecho la but the mecho wo meta na dream kono ko man on big workshop kana on big garden or so me aran ko dal wala woti men from Makola Jamena family Makola alhamdulillah rabbil alamin ko jiribi me ayo 6 kilo bondi ani 6 subo fana pour ke waf yaji be fana alhamdulillah ngala ran jamal da nanani sante make waf anu ngado ko mo jamal mi yalon ko na me shoko.
What keeps us connected? Is it the memories we share? Is it the pictures we take every single morning? Is it the bond that binds us? Is it the time we spend together? Is it sharing the same dream or the same life? The secret is this deep connection between us. Keep it real. Stay connected.
Armed attackers have attacked a prison near the capital of Nigeria, where residents reported hearing several explosions. The Kuje Medium Security Custodial Center on the outskirts of Abuja came under an attack on Tuesday. Authorities say hundreds of inmates were freed and at least 4 prisoners and a security officer were killed. The attack happened just hours after the presidential security convoy was ambushed. Permanent Secretary at the Interior Ministry told journalists outside the prison, which has 900 inmates, that a security officer was killed during the attack and 3 others were injured. He said suspected Boko Haram attackers came from members held in the prison. He added that more than 600 inmates had fled and that half had been recaptured. Manhunt was continuing. Al Jazeera's Fida Nisbah reports from Abuja, Nigeria.
This is the aftermath of the attack on Kuje Correctional Center on the outskirts of Abuja. Gunmen entered the facility through the back wall of the compound, firing sporadically and detonating explosives.
About 600 inmates escaped, including dozens of suspected Boko Haram fighters. More than 300 have been recaptured or returned voluntarily. The police say the search is on to track down all escapees.
Authorities believe Boko Haram is behind the jailbreak.
They came specifically for their co-conspirators, and but in order to get them, some of them are in general population, so they broke out, and other people in that general population escaped as well.
The center holds nearly 1,000 prisoners. After a head count, dozens of suspected members of the armed group were declared missing.
The people who came to do these activities, from the records, we believe that they belong to a particular group. And most likely they are Boko Haram, because we have sizable number of Boko Harams that are in detention, and presently we could not locate any of them.
Security has been beefed up at the prison, but for families in Kuje, the fear remains.
The experience of last night was so bad and was so, scaring. I was far asleep when I heard a sound of gunshots and a bomb blast. Before I could know what was happening, someone just called me that I should make sure that I'm alert, that there's a prison break.
The attack adds to mounting insecurity in the West African country, which is battling armed groups in the north and sectarian violence in the south. Fidelis Mba, Al Jazeera, Abuja.
South African President Ramaphosa has attended the funeral of some of the 21 teenagers found dead in a bar 10 days ago. They had been out celebrating the end of their exams before they died. Al Jazeera's Fahmi Muda Mali reports from South Africa.
Hundreds of mourners have paid their respects at a mass funeral in East London in the Eastern Cape province. 21 young people died under mysterious circumstances at a bar during a party after school exams. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa was among the dignitaries in attendance.
there is blame. And blame must be laid at the feet of those who are making money off the dreams and the lives of young people of South Africa by breaking the law and selling alcohol to underage children.
No one has been arrested, but the Liquor Board has laid criminal charges against the owner of the bar for selling alcohol to underage customers. He's denied any wrongdoing. While investigations continue, there's speculation that carbon monoxide poisoning may be the cause of death. More than a dozen people who were at the venue that night were treated for vomiting, back pain and headaches. Police have yet to release an official report, leaving grieving families with more questions than answers. Famida Muller, Johannesburg, South Africa.
David Monnier is a political commentator and associate professor of political science at the University of Johannesburg. He says what happened highlights the country's broken society.
I think it is to do with a society that is went through an apartheid era, and you have certain norms and values that parents do not have control. Young families, others are just children-led families, and others just misbehavior of young children who are getting into alcohol. And this happens mainly in societies, in sections where unemployment is high. And unfortunately, in this case, the results was just 21 young lives perish in this manner. It's a sad day in South Africa today as they bury these 21 children. But I think after handling this sad incident, there's a need to look into at national level, beefing up laws, which the president is promising, as well as to have major campaigns to ensure that we as parents do indeed parent our kids in a right way.
French workers for the state rail operators are on strike over a pay dispute. They say the rising cost of living has made it difficult to make ends meet. More than a third of rail services are down. Al Jazeera's Natasha Bott reports from France.
There were fewer rail workers than usual at Paris's Gare de Lyon train station because many were on strike to demand higher wages. Staff say that they've not had a pay rise in nearly a decade, and with a rising cost of living, they're struggling financially.
We are on salaries, and like many employees, we see the cost of living going up, but our salaries don't go up, so it doesn't add up.
More than a third of France's train services were cancelled, causing disruption for some travellers at the start of the summer break.
It is annoying for us as passengers, but the right to strike is a fundamental one, and I sympathise with their demands.
With the holidays, the strike's a bit complicated, also just after COVID, but everyone has to defend their rights.
The French government says that it cannot raise people's wages, but it is planning a number of measures to help people with inflation as part of a new cost of living bill. The proposed law includes financial help for poorer households with fuel and food. President Emmanuel Macron's government no longer has a parliamentary majority and has urged the opposition not to block the bill.
We will propose to extend the cap on gas and electricity prices, to increase income from work and to lower charges on the self-employed by tripling the upper limit of the purchasing power bonus and increase pensions and social benefits.
The rail strike is expected to last one day, but with French airport workers planning their third strike in a month later this week, it is clear that some people's travel plans may not stay on track. Natasha Butler, Al Jazeera, Paris.